Today we talk about matching the plane of the pitch. Hey, what's going on, fellas? How you doing? Matt Antonelli here. So today we're talking about matching the plane of the pitch as a hitter. We're going to look at Kris Bryant's swing. His bat path, his swing plane gets a lot of attention. Anytime he's playing on TV, they're always talking about how he has a uppercut swing. They talk a lot about how his father, when he was coaching him at a younger age, helped him develop a swing where the path of the bat was going to move uphill, slightly up through the hitting zone. They talk a lot about, and Kris Bryant talks a lot about how he says he's trying to hit fly balls. He's trying to get the ball in the air as a hitter. He's even said his goal, if he goes into a game and hits 4 balls in the air, he feels like he's done his job and he's had a good game. A lot of people, this is a huge discussion point with coaches and with players. And so I want to take a little bit today and talk about swing path, what it does for launch angles, why it's, why people are talking about trying to get the bat to work slightly up through the hitting zone, and then some of the other discussion points around that topic. So the first thing, let's talk about, before we get into why we're trying to swing a certain way or what type of swing plane or path we're trying to create, let's talk about it from the other perspective, from the pitching perspective and the ball coming into the plate. So if you look at the pitch, okay, let me just kind of draw this here, see if I can get that right. It actually might be just a speck too much down. Let's go right about there. Okay, so let's talk first about the incoming pitch. We've said this before. The pitcher is standing on an elevated mound. He's throwing overhand to a catcher that's squatted behind the plate, right? So the ball has to travel downhill. Unless he throws the ball 10 feet over the catcher's head, the ball has to travel downhill, okay? As a hitter, we're trying to get on that path of the pitch for as long as we possibly can. The way to do that is to swing on a path that is going to match that pitch path, right? So we want to swing slightly uphill, okay? If we swing slightly uphill, you can see by the 2 lines, it gives us the greatest chance to be on path with that ball, all right? We don't know as hitters, we don't know the pitch type, the pitch speed, and exactly where we're going to make contact with that pitch each time, because it's not like a pitch is a point, right? It's not like the ball's sitting on a tee and we know, okay, the ball's going to be right there and I want to swing and make contact right at that exact point. We could hit this pitch at any point on its path, okay? Because again, we don't know what the pitch is, how fast or slow it's going to be. We're trying to read all this stuff as the ball's coming in. We have 0.4 of a second to do it. It's the most difficult thing to do in sport. And so it's unrealistic to think that we're going to be perfectly on time every single time, all right? So the idea here is that we want to try to cover as many of these points as possible. That's going to give us the greatest chance to hopefully square the ball up, right? And it's going to, if we're able to kind of cover all these points, then our timing doesn't have to be as perfect, right? We could be a little bit off and still make contact with the ball and give ourselves a chance. So if we're late, right? Let's say we're late and we're right here. Well, our bat is in the hitting zone, right? We're on path with the ball, so we can make contact here and we could drive the ball to right center field. If we're on time and we hit the ball right here, well, then we can drive the ball to center field. If we're a little bit early, but we're still on path, we can hit the ball right here. and we can hit the ball to left field. So you can see, if you think about the hitting area as a window, right? It gives you this big window to hit in, okay? Your chances of impacting the ball increase the bigger this window is. So I can hit it back here, I can hit it on time, I can hit it early, but I'm in this window for a long amount of time. And I've watched, thousands of swings, right? And I've looked at almost every major league swing. And the guys that are most consistent are the guys that typically have the biggest areas where they're in the hitting zone, because they don't have to be as perfect with their timing. Everyone always talks about timing as a hitter, right? Timing is so important, and it is so important. But we're never going to be completely on time every single time. The sport is too difficult, right? The pitchers are too good. And so we have to give ourselves a chance to not be perfectly on time and still be able to make contact with a pitch and hopefully hit it hard enough and on a proper launch angle so we can get a hit. So if you don't get on path, right? Let's say that you don't swing slightly up. All right. So again, let's look at, they're slightly up the green, and you can see it matches. And so that area to impact the ball is really big. Now let's say that you don't do that. Let's say that you have a guy that swings really downhill, really slices right down through the ball. Well, if you look at the lines now, you can see that the only time that you are in that area to impact the ball or on the same path as the pitch is this little tiny area right here, right? So again, if you think about a hitting window, if you are only able to square a ball up in that little tiny area, it's common sense that you're not going to be as consistent. You're not going to square the ball up as much, right? So now, guys that swing really down through the zone, their timing has to be exceptional. They have to be on time all the time, or else they're not getting a hit. Because if you're late and you're way back here as the ball's passing through the hitting zone, you're not in the hitting zone, so you can't hit a ball back there. If you're really early, you're way out here, again, you're not on the same path as the pitch. You can't hit a ball out there. So you only have this little tiny area, this little tiny area right here to impact the ball. And it becomes way too difficult. And so we talk a lot about, timing with our hitters. And it's not a coincidence that the guys that don't have proper bat paths, the guys that either swing way too much down, and that's usually what I see, because a lot of coaches are always saying, hey, down on the ball, stay on top of the ball. So it creates a lot of paths that are too steep to the ball, really downhill. But there's also such a thing as being too much uphill. So you'll see some guys, especially really, really young players, that kind of really collapse back here and their barrel drops really early, and they really swing too much up through the zone. It's the same thing. They have this small area to impact the ball. Those are the players that are always telling me, my timing's not right. My timing's not right. I can't get my timing down. And it goes on for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and months, and it seems like the timing is never right. That's because they are not giving themselves a chance. Again, your timing is never going to be perfect every time. So if you swing down too much or you swing up too much, if your bat's not on the proper path, you're not giving yourself a chance. Your timing has to be too perfect, and it can't be that perfect all the time. So hopefully that makes sense. I think I would say timing is kind of like a cop-out for most people. It's always all timing. Yep, he's not hitting or I'm not hitting because it's timing. It's not, in my experience, it's usually bat path, right? It's not timing. And I tell our guys, hey, if it's the first week of the season or we just get outside, yeah, I can understand timing, right? You haven't seen a live pitch. Yeah, it might take a little bit. But you can't tell me after the first week and then after the first month and then after 2 months and after 3 months that it's still timing, right? Your body will figure out how to time. You should be able to figure out how to time the pitch up, right? So it comes back to the swing and to the bat path specifically, whether or not you're going to have a good chance to square this ball up or not, whether you're going to have a chance to be consistent or not, okay? So that's the first step of it. The second is launch angle. So as a hitter, we're looking to hit line drives, right? Line drives that are going to carry, okay? So let's talk about, the possible scenarios as far as where you're going to hit it. Ground balls, okay? We've got a pitcher and we've got 4 infield defenders. So a ground ball, right, and you can look at the stats, you can look them up. A ground ball is not going to give you as many base hits as a line drive, okay? That's not my opinion, that's just the stats, right? There's defenders on the ground. When the ball's hit on the ground, you're going to have to hit it really hard, and the more you hit it down on the ground, the harder it is to hit it hard, right? But also, you have to have some luck. You're going to have to hit it in between defenders that are on the ground, okay? And as you move up in levels, those defenders get quicker, they get stronger arms, they become better fielders, and so it becomes harder and harder. So maybe when you're 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 and 11 and even 12, you can smash the ball into the ground, and those defenders are really not talented at that level. And so ground balls might give you more hits, but as you get older, those hits go down and down and down and down. And as you get to high school, they become less. And as you go to college, they become even less. And when you get the pro ball or the major leagues, you can forget about it. You hit the ball on the ground in the major leagues, you better smash the ball, and you still are going to have a tough time getting a lot of hits. Okay? Fly balls. Hit a ball in the air. Obviously, the higher you hit it, the more time the outfielder has to go and catch it, right? And so a fly ball is going to be less successful when it comes to base hits as a line drive. Now, depending on your level, obviously a fly ball or a pop-up, you've got no chance, right? A deep fly ball, maybe you have a chance of a home run or hitting it over the outfielders' heads. But again, depends a little bit on your level. If you're a major league player, if you're a guy like Chris Bryant, you can afford to hit the ball in the air a little bit more, I should say a little higher, because you're bigger, stronger, you have more bat speed, and when you hit that ball in the air, you have a chance to hit a home run, right? If you're a young player, well then, hitting a high fly ball or deep fly ball, that may just result in outs, okay? Again, the one we're looking for is a line drive. And when I say a line drive, I'm not talking about a line drive that just kind of, gets past the pitcher and then kind of skims the edge of the dirt and goes into the outfield. I'm talking about a line drive that's going to have some carry to it, that you're able to hit a ball in a gap, drive a ball for a double, and maybe if you slightly miss it, you'll pop a home run, okay? That's what we're trying to get our players to do because, again, a ball that's hit with that trajectory is going to be a base hit more often than not, okay? Because it's over the infielders' heads, and it's before the outfielders, right? And there's a reason why, if you look at the stats, that a line drive will produce more base hits than any other batted ball, okay? But you have the added bonus and benefit with a line drive of slugging more. So you have the benefit of hitting more doubles, hitting more triples, and hitting more home runs, right? When you hit a ball on the ground, it's basically going to be an out or a single. And you may get a double if you hit it right down the line. You may get a double, right? But most ground balls are an out or a single, okay? Most fly balls are an out or a home run, usually, right? And again, more often than not, it's probably an out, depending on your level. Line drives are going to give us base hits. They're going to get us doubles, triples, and possibly home runs. Again, depending on your size and strength and bat speed and all that stuff, okay? So if we understand we're trying to hit a line drive, then it makes sense if the ball is coming in on this path, right? We want to have a path, a bat path that's working on that same plane so that when we hit it, when these two lines collide, let's draw it like this again. So here comes the pitch. Here comes the pitch. Here comes my bat. When those two lines, bang, collide, the ball, if you square the ball up, is going to continue out on that path and be a line drive, right? It's going to be a single, a double, a triple, possibly a home run, depending on where you hit it, okay? If the pitch is coming on that path and I swing down to the ball like this, and I square that ball up, I'm going to hit it down on the ground. I'm going to hit a ground ball, right? If I have a path that's really uphill and I square that ball up, I'm typically going to hit a high fly ball, right? Again, maybe a home run if I'm a big, strong guy, but more often than not, I'm going to hit a fly ball, all right? And it's going to be an out. So that's where, again, a swing that's slightly up through the zone is going to impact the ball squarely, and I'm going to be able to drive a line drive for possibly a double, but, you know, more often than not, if I hit it square, I'm going to get at least a single, okay? So again, why I'm trying to swing slightly up through the ball. Now let's talk about, real quick, you know, because a lot of people say you want to swing down for backspin, right? They talk about spin, manipulating spin on the ball. Let's talk about that for a little bit. And we've made other videos on this, so go check them out if you want to get a little bit more in depth. But if this is the baseball, all right, so here comes the ball right here. Let's say that's the ball, okay? The ball, some of it has to do with my path, right? We already talked about that. But really it has to do with where I intersect the ball, okay? So if I'm swinging here, let's just say I'm swinging on Chris Bryant's path, and I hit the ball dead in the center, flush. I flush it. So the ball's coming down this way, and I swing, and I flush that thing up, and I hit it dead center. Bang, I'm going to smash a line drive, right? And it may have some of that knuckleball spin. If you've ever hit a ball before and you've caught it right in the center, you get that knuckleball spin where you get no spin at all, right? And you're going to hit it right back where it came from, okay? If you swing and you hit that ball below center, right? So you hit it below center. The ball is going to go up, and it's going to have backspin, right? Because you're going to hit the bottom part of the ball, and the ball is going to take off with backspin, okay? You hit it just below center, you're going to hit it a little bit up. You hit it way below center, you hit it way down here, you're going to hit it more up. So the more the bottom of the ball you hit it, the higher it's going to go. If you just nick the bottom of the ball, bang, it's going to be a foul ball right back here, okay? So the more you hit the bottom of the ball, the more the ball is going to go up, the more backspin it's going to have, right? If you swing with that path right there, and you hit the top half of the ball is going to go down. So if I swing here and I hit the top part of the ball, the more on top I hit it, the more the ball is going to go down, the more top spin it's going to have. Because my bat's coming over the top of the ball, boom, it's going to hit it, the ball's going to spin the opposite way. It's going to have top spin. Again, the ball's going to go down, okay? So when I'm swinging and I have a path that we're talking about, I'm trying to get that thing boom, right in the center, and if I miss, I'm going to miss slightly below center, and I'm going to smash it, and it's going to be a double or a home run or a single, whatever. I'm going to drive the ball, line drive to the outfield. All right, so that's with a good path. Now, when you swing down at the ball, and you're trying, people say swing down, create backspin. Here's the thing. So here comes the ball, it's coming on this path, and I swing down at the ball, okay? Let's say I square that ball up. I hit it right in the center. Boom, I hit it right in the center. I square that thing up. I smash the ball down into the ground. We talked about that already, right? So I'm going to hit more ground balls, okay? The more I hit below the ball, so if I swing down and I hit below center, ball's going to go this way. The more below center I get, the more I'm going to hit it up in the air. And I'm going to get backspin, right? But the thing with swinging down on the ball is that I'm never... When I square that thing up, when I'm perfectly square on that ball, I'm going to hit it down more often. When I try to hit the bottom of the ball, so people say, swing down and create that backspin. The more down I hit it, I'm not flushing the ball because I'm coming at a steep angle. I'm going to clip the ball. So if the ball's coming down and I swing down, and you just think about it, and I hit more on the bottom of the ball, I clip the ball, I don't square the ball, and the ball, it has a ton of backspin, right? But it goes up in the air. It doesn't go anywhere. It's like taking if you're a tennis player, and again, I don't know anything about tennis, but I just have heard people talk about it. You try to put a ton of spin on a ball, a drop shot, I think they call it. Put a ton of spin, and you kind of swing down on the ball and slice through it. The ball's got a ton of spin. It doesn't go anywhere, right? You overspin it, and it just goes up in the air. It doesn't go anywhere, right? If I swing down and I hit the top part of the ball, then I'm really going to smash the ball into the ground. I'm going to beat it right down into the ground here. All right, so you see guys that are constantly just smashing balls into the dirt right in front of home plate, probably because they swing down too much. All right, and then you've got the opposite. Oh, and that's going to have topspin, obviously. Ball goes down the ground, you're on top of the ball, it's got topspin. You swing the opposite, you swing way too much uphill, so here comes the pitch path, and you swing way down here, you collapse back here, and you go that way. Well, if you square this ball up, bang, you're going to hit it. You're probably going to hit a lot of fly balls, right? And if you're big and strong, you may hit some homers. If you're not, you're going to have a whole lot of fly ball outs, okay? But again, if I hit the bottom of the ball, I'm going to get backspin. And it's just going to go higher and higher depending on how low on the ball I hit it. If I hit the top of the ball, so here I come, I hit the top of the ball, I'm going to get topspin. And I'm going to hit ground balls, right? And a lot of guys that are underneath the ball and really come over the top, they'll get a little bit more topspin because they're always kind of coming up at a steep angle. If they hit on top of the ball, boom, they get a lot of topspin. A lot of balls that don't carry as much that kind of are always spinning with that topspin. Okay? So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. So again, the path of the, or excuse me, where you hit that ball is going to determine the spin that you create. Okay? And so we're not trying to manipulate the spin. I'm not trying to swing down to create backspin. I think now with all the slow-mo video and we're able to really see swings, people should understand that we're not trying to do that. We're trying to get on path with the pitch so that we can stay in the hitting zone as long as possible, give our chance the biggest area to impact it, decrease our ability to just have to, just count on our ability to be on time, right? I want to take that out of the equation so that if I'm not on time, I still have a chance to hit. All right? So I'm flat through the zone. Now I give myself a chance to, when I do square it up, to hit more line drives, more balls that carry, so I'll have a higher slugging percentage and I'll have a higher batting average. Right? So that's really, when it comes down to it, why the path has to be what it is, what we talk about. Now, people are going to say, well, Chris Bryant is big and huge and strong, and so, he can swing up through the ball and be fine. Now, Chris Bryant's swing is probably a little bit more uphill than some players. But again, he's 6'5", 200 and however many pounds. So yeah, he probably wants to swing a little bit more uphill. I'm not saying you have to be as much uphill as him, but you want to be slightly up through the hitting zone. If you're a smaller guy or if you're a normal sized guy, thinking that, okay, I'm going to swing down on the ball because I'm a smaller guy, that's a bad idea. Because you are not going to get any hits. You're going to hit a ton of balls into the ground. And again, maybe if you're in Little League, you'll get a lot of hits. But I always tell our guys, I'm not trying to win, and I don't think you guys should be either. You should not be trying to be the greatest 10-year-old player of all time if it's going to mean that you are not going to be ready to play at 11 or 12 or 13 or 14 or 15 as you move up, right? So I'm not trying to build 12-year-old all-stars at the expense of their 13 and 14 and 15-year-old year. I'm trying to create players who are going to be successful for the long run, because I think when most players think about baseball, like they think, yeah, I want to be successful at all levels, not just at a young level, right? I don't want to just be successful at 11 years old and have a ton of trophies from my 11-year-old year and win the hit, run, and throw or whatever they call those competitions. But I can't do anything when the players get better and the pitching gets better because, I've developed habits for 3, 4, 5 years, and now all of a sudden it's too late to change. So I think it's always a good idea to try to create a swing that's going to give you success, not just at one level, but at all levels. And you know what? If you're really small, right, and you're a really small, fast player, and maybe you could get a few more hits at 10U by putting the ball on the ground more, I still say don't do it. Swing the way that's going to give you success for the long run, and you're still going to be a good player. You're still going to be fine. But when you get to that level, when you get to high school finally, or maybe it's even before then, you're going to be ready. You won't have to change anything. You're going to already be ready to be successful at that level. All right? So hopefully that makes sense for you guys. I know it was kind of a long video, but man, I get so many questions on this still, and I know there'll still be a lot of people that disagree with me. But what I would suggest is just continue to watch swings and study the swings and watch the path at which they're moving through the zone. And then and again, if you still believe it, then that's fine. But I'm just telling you what I see. This isn't what I haven't always thought this. When I was younger, I never studied swings. I just kind of did what coaches kind of told me to do. But as I kind of started to get older, I started to study more and watch things. I say, that's why when I'm watching these guys, they're not doing what people have been telling me since I was 10 years old, right? So, again, let me know if you have any questions in the comment section before I'm up for discussing this. Please subscribe to the channel. Give the video a thumbs up. I'd appreciate that. Share it with all your friends. Also, check out our Instagram page, Antonelli Baseball, and my Twitter feed, MattAntonelli9. Also, check out the description box below where I've got a bunch of links to books that I've been reading and training tools that we use with all of our players. Also, check out our website, AntonelliBaseball.com. If you're interested in doing lessons, you can shoot me an email on there. If you're interested in seeing some of our team info, it's on there as well. That's all I got for you guys today. Good luck to you all as you continue your seasons, and we will talk to you later.